Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Everything Entertainment. I'm your host, Jalen Bullock. I'm joined by my co-host, Isaac Reynoso. And this is season 2 in 2022, in year 68 of the Rubber Gigantia. Today, we're joined by some very special people. So starting off here, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jacob Malmsten.
And I'm Chloe Marino.
And if you could tell us a little bit about why you were here today.
Well, I am here to talk about the upcoming improv show that is tonight in the Rotary Sheeler. That is available for $8 at the door.
Isaac asked me to do it, so.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you for being here. I'm excited to, chat with you guys today. So.
Okay, so starting off, can you explain what an improv show is for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, so if you think of Whose Line Is It Anyways, that's a very well-known TV show, but it's basically you're acting without a script, so you're playing games, doing things like that, yeah, I don't know.
Well, the actors will go up on the stage. They have nothing like a script-wise. They memorize nothing. Everything you see performed, they came up with it on the spot. As soon as they walked up on stage, it was like that. They already had the idea. They already knew what they were going to do as soon as they walked up. And so that's kind of what makes improv special.
Yeah, and normally it's focused towards comedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. How does an improv show differ from, say, the play or, the musical?
Well, this is my second year doing fall play, and I can tell you it's certainly a lot different compared to an improv show. Obviously, a fall play, you have your script, you have your lines to memorize, you have blocking, which is basically structured movement, and you have all this stuff you have to prepare. For an improv show, you can practice, but you can't really prepare for that exact day. It's like a sport.
Yeah.
You can practice like basketball, you can practice shooting and whatnot, but until you get onto the court, you don't know how you're going to perform, you don't know how it's going to go. But you can always try and practice your skills, try and get better in order to make a better show.
Yeah, especially if you try to rehearse something, it always falls flat. It's never going to be as good as if it's in the moment.
That was a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like that. So what inspired you guys to do the improv show?
Well, this is both of our second time doing it.
Yeah, this is my second year.
Yeah, well, I've been a part of the drama club since freshman year, and I always found it really fun to play all the drama games, and I just figured it was another opportunity to be more involved since I don't do drama club, the class.
Well, yeah, kind of the same thing with Chloe's. I never really was involved in performing arts throughout my entire life here at Redwood. I only really started up in junior year after COVID. And I think COVID was kind of like a wake-up call to me, how much I've been missing out. And kind of improv show, this is my redemption, to really be involved in the Redwood community because it is special.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, have both of you guys have done this before. So what would you say, the purpose of the improv show is? And how has it prepared you for, the fall play and stuff?
Well, purpose to an improv show, it's just another way we can show off performing arts, what we have here at Redwood. Sports are a big thing here at Redwood too. Of course, those are important, but performing arts, there's a whole bunch of other classes and a whole bunch of other people who have specialized talents and unique abilities that we want to be able to present to you. So I think the improv show is just another chance to be able to present what we have.
For me, I'm really bad with doing plays and performances because I get really nervous, and I feel like the improv show is kind of a way for me to step out of my comfort zone and really be doing things that I wouldn't normally do because it's a lot of exaggeration and making fun of yourself, kind of. So it kind of prepares me for the plays and the musicals because they're kind of the same aspects with that.
So this year is the first time in a while that you guys will be performing with other schools, right?
Yeah.
So, how does that feel? Are you excited or to be a part of this group thing, or are you nervous?
Well,
there's definitely a lot of unknown, especially with coming together with all different schools, because they each bring their own unique talents to the table. And personally, this is something I've never done before, but I think I'm really excited for it, personally.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten to know a few of the other people at different schools, and they're really good people. They're really nice people. So I'm definitely excited, and they're also super funny, too.
Yes, I was talking to some of them, and they're all really cool. It's really nice to be able to make connections with people from other schools, especially since like now we're talking about going to each other's performances and getting to say hi, and it's really fun.
That's great. This is an additional question, but what are the other schools that you guys would be working with tonight?
Tonight there's gonna be Mount Whitney and Golden West. Those are the other two high schools working with us.
LD couldn't make it, sadly.
Perfect. So you guys already went a little into this of how you guys don't really plan for the improv show. It's more on the spot. But what are some ways that you prepare in a sense?
So we play games. We just yeah, essentially, we play the games that we'll be doing at the show, and we just do them over and over again. And eventually, when we find out which people are doing what, we have them specifically play those games.
Mm-hmm. Well, we play the games over and over again, but it's also important that we establish connections with each other so we can see who works well with each other, who doesn't. I mean, just because you don't work well with a person doesn't mean you don't like them or anything like that. That's not what I mean. Just
Comedic
means
timing.
Right, you're both creative with each other. You both can bounce ideas off each other, and that's kind of how we prepare in a way. You just have to find those special connections in order to put on a show.
Yeah.
And for someone going tonight, what could they expect?
Oh, to laugh, hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of randomness, a lot of silliness too, but overall they should expect to have a good time, you know, laughing their heads off.
It's pretty like welcoming and like comforting surroundings, because like everyone's just like, we're all making fun of ourselves, like so it's just like very come as you are, you know, and have fun.
I like that. And why would you guys say it is important to have something like the improv show here at Redwood?
Well, I think once again it kind of demonstrates like our abilities, and it shows our creative talents. Being able to like demonstrate that, well, we don't have anything prepared, so we're just gonna make a bunch of stuff up. Like, that's really like the point of this, really.
Also, I feel like comedy is kind of like healing to people, and like especially when you can get a lot of people together and to just laugh, it's like really healing, or like it's just nice to have, you know, and to experience.
And why do you think someone should go, like, watch the show?
Well, we're gonna be in it, so.
Yeah. I'll tell you why you shouldn't go watch the show if you don't want to have a fun time.
Yeah, or I guess football's doing something, so. Football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's $8, correct?
$8 at the door, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had an additional question. Okay, so is it like interactive, like with the audience, or like how do
Yes, a little bit.
Can you explain that?
So when you walk in, you get to like, they have like papers for you to write answers on, because some of the questions do require like a theme, or not a theme, but like a scenario or like a situation, or like, you know what I mean? Just something like that. And so when you walk in, you get to write all your answers for all these different questions, and then they might get pulled during the show, and then we'll use them. So.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite like examples of that is Whose Line Is It Anyway, where basically you have two lines in your pocket, and when you go to read something, you take one of those lines out and you read it out loud.
And you haven't read it before.
Yeah. And I think like one of my favorite moments last year, I pulled out the line and it said, "To infinity and beyond." And it worked perfectly because it was in space and there was no preparation. We didn't read these before. We didn't have a planted audience member write that up and didn't just gave it into it.
It's really cool when it works, and then it's really funny when it doesn't.
Yeah.
What was your favorite line last year?
Oh, like, can I say like a game?
Yeah.
Okay, I really, really liked Scenes from a Hat, which is where There's not. Is there an actual hat? I think Galvan might take an actual hat, but basically you have things written on paper. It'll be like
like scenes, like basically
trying to think of something. Famous superheroes as Barbie dolls or something. I don't know. And then someone will like be like, oh, I have something for that. And they'll run up and they'll do something. And other people can think that they have different ideas and run up and do their idea. And I think it's just really funny and a really good show of like on the spot type things. Like last year, someone put one in that was like Metallica if they had a puppy mill. It was like no, everybody was like, what the heck? But yeah.
That's great. And do you have any additional questions, Isaac?
Oh.
Perfect. And is there anything else you guys would like to add?
Come see Space Princess Wars.
Yeah. Check out the fall play. It's coming up soon, October 5th, 6th, and the 8th.
Yeah, and if you don't know what it is, it's a mix between Star Wars and The Princess Bride. And it's very funny. Very funny.
Thank you. And then we also have a story about that actually on the Gigantia by Ava? Was it?
Jenna.
I get them confused. By Jenna Landon, so check that out. Before we end today's podcast, of course, we have Space Princess Wars coming up shortly. Also, September 27th, we have a mandatory musical meeting lunch. October 10th will be the musical auditions at 4 p.m. as well as the 11th at 6 p.m. And callbacks will be the 13th at 5:30, and you will find out who made the musical on October 14th. We have a choir concert in October, correct?
The 14th as well.
14th, perfect. So 14th is going to be a busy day. Also, October 3rd, we have a performing arts showcase at Golden West. So that's something to check out. And that Saturday we'll have our first marching band competition. So we'll hear about the drum majors in about 2 weeks about that. I want to say thank you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
interviews. Thank you for our great audience members too. But this is great. I'm excited for what we're going to do this year in me and Isaac's senior year. Once again, I'm your host, Jalen Bullock. This is my co-host, Isaac Reynoso, and this is the Everything Entertainment Podcast.